Alright, so recently I got a video request to talk about the current feud between Dr. Phil and Daniel Bergoli. And to be honest, I had no idea what any of this was about, as neither Dr. Phil nor Danielle are a part of the content that I consume. You know, I'm not really a fan of unlicensed daytime TV psychologists exploiting the most deranged individuals in society and baiting them to come on his TV show under the guise of it being therapeutic, when it's really not. We all know that it's all just for entertainment and to fill his network daily viewer quota. And I'm also not a fan of degenerate teenage girls who go out of their way to be as loud and argumentative and combative and as ratchet as possible because they think it's cute. Like, okay, we get it. You want to fit into a specific kind of crowd because that's where you feel the most comfortable in your personal life. But like, you don't gotta go out of your way to act like the stereotype times 1,000 because you're insecure about your own identity. You know, I just find it kind of weird how a lot of girls like Daniel Bergoli act a certain kind of way because it's trendy to be that. But you know, I guess a lot of these issues have to do with how she grew up and the lack of a strong father figure in her life. I don't know. I'm not a therapist, but at least that's something me and Dr. Phil have in common. However, based on an article that I read, my understanding of the situation is that she claims her and some other girls who Dr. Phil's team sends out to a camp for troubled teens called Turnabout Ranch in Utah were being abused when they were there. And based on what I was able to see on Google, the camp, or rather the ranch, takes place in a very isolated region where there's lots of hills, rocks, dirt, water, trees, and grass. You know, pretty much all the things that most young people aren't familiar with anymore. Like, simply stepping outside seems to be a very foreign concept nowadays. I just honestly don't know why. But anyways, jokes aside, the reviews for this place are pretty shitty. Yeah, they're pretty bad, sitting at just 3.1 stars on Google. So maybe what Danielle is saying about this place is true. But a lot of the negative reviews have been made after Danielle made her expose video on Dr. Phil and the ranch, which I guess prompted a lot of people to go on over to Google and search Turnabout Ranch, and I guess they just started spamming negative 1-star reviews, as you can see here on the screen. So the actual score has been distorted, and usually Google deletes reviews like this after a period of time if deemed inauthentic. However, there are definitely real reviews from real people who have more knowledge and credible experience about this place who have come out over the years with their own critiques of this ranch. As you can see, there's this review from Mohammed from 2 years ago. He says, "I would give this place a rating of 0 stars." And the owner responded by saying, "Thank you, Mohammed. Were you a former student, or did you have a family member that attended? If so, we would invite you to contact us to discuss your concerns." Another person named Michaela said, "This place is horrible. The staff are horrible. I hope this place is closed down. Do not send your kids here." 4 years ago. Another person named Katie said, "Wow, scary. The news reported staff was killed by a youth. Not safe practices or screening process. My heart goes out to the victims." And in that comment, she's actually referring to an incident that happened years ago while Danielle was actually staying at the ranch, where one of the kids killed a 61-year-old staff member with a metal bar while trying to escape the ranch in a stolen car. Yeah, it's actually pretty messed up, but you know, I'll leave it at that for now. And then we have a more fleshed out review from a person named NM, and she or he said, "From a therapist's perspective, wilderness therapy places like this are a scam. They are not evidence-based. I've had many clients come to me post being at these facilities with PTSD from being there. Sending your child away and breaking their spirit through manual labor so they can learn independence and discipline is not therapy. It's boot camp. I'm glad there are a handful of success stories, but these programs overall are not ethical." And then another person named Alexandra, she said, "I understand this program is beneficial to families with a child that has gone astray. But honestly, reading the rest of the positive reviews from the parents, you all make me sick. Utterly and completely sick. The reason your child ended up that bad was because of you. The reasons that you're putting your adolescent children here to rehabilitate their attitudes and outlooks is all because of you. Did you know that 90% of a child's brain growth and development happens from the ages of 0 to 4? And did you also know that your children learn their coping skills and mechanisms from you as well? Your child is a complete product of what you have made them and exposed them to. Whether you didn't teach them discipline or respect at that young, impressionable age, or you didn't show love or care or acceptance the way that they needed you to, obviously something you did or didn't do, or something you did or didn't expose them to, resulted in them acting this way, creating war zones in your own household." And that basically sums up what they're trying to say, which is nothing but facts. Like, 99% of the time, if a kid ends up being terrible in life, assuming that they weren't born with any mental or genetic defects, it's because of how they were raised by their parents. So like I said in my previous video about Daniel Bergoli when I was talking about her OnlyFans situation, she's a victim of her own circumstances. lack of a father in the household, her mom obviously not being able to raise her due to her own circumstances, and I guess coming from a poorer background, bad neighborhood, terrible public education, all these things tied together will be a detriment to a kid's future. And by the way, there were definitely some positive reviews about this place, from parents and kids talking about their experience there and how it changed their life. But the thing is, when I'm looking for places that I want to spend my money at, especially if it's supposed to be therapeutic, I'm definitely not going to be going to a place that has a 3-star rating. Honestly, if it's not 4 stars and above, it starts to look kind of sketchy to me. However, according to an article from Vulture, they say that Daniel Bergoli gave a testimony about how she was sent to the ranch by transporters who, quote, come in the middle of the night. They don't tell them where they're going, just take them, they handcuff them, they put them in the car. It's basically like kidnapping. She also said they take away necessity privileges, like sleeping on a bed, eating good food, not being cold. And I'm pretty sure these statements were all from her expose video that she uploaded to her own channel. But if what she's saying is true and the parents consented to this, or even if they did not, either way, the ranch needs to be shut down, because I'm pretty sure that's against the law. What the if I'm a parent and I had a troubled teen and I sent them to this ranch, not knowing what the hell was going on, and this story came out, I'd be ready to square up. I'm heading right down to that ranch, ready to throw hands. Who's the owner? Let me get that name, number, your lawyer's number, right after I beat your ass, because you're definitely not going to be abusing my child when I literally sent them to this ranch so that you could help them. It says here, in the winter of 2016, Clay Brewer brutally beat to death a 61-year-old staff member named Jimmy Woolsey with a metal bar. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. What kind of kids are they taking to this ranch? This kind of kid should have been in juvie and not at a ranch meant for, troubled teens who just, I guess, have family problems.
I'm reading the New York Post this weekend. I open up this story about a teen rapper named Bad Bobby, B-H-A.
Bad Bobby? Did Danielle do a rap name change that I wasn't aware of? Bad Bobby? Okay, interesting. Okay, so now I'm watching this interview, right? And I'm 2 minutes in. And Dr. Phil does acknowledge that Danielle went to the ranch and that she did have a bad experience. And I commend him for that. But then he basically goes on to say that he's not liable for what happens to people when they leave the show, and that he has nothing to do with people who go to the ranch. That's basically what he said. He's not liable for that. And legally, he isn't. But for him to insinuate that he shouldn't take any accountability for Danielle going to the ranch and having a bad experience, when it's been proven that he endorses this place for young teens who come on his show. I even saw a comment in the Google reviews by the owner of the ranch thanking Dr. Phil for his recommendation for kids to go to the ranch after leaving the show. Let's be real here. How do people know about the ranch in the first place? Why did it become so famous? It's because of Dr. Phil. It became a meme and people started conflating Dr. Phil's brand with that specific ranch.
Turnabout Ranch, which is a very serious, responsible place for kids to go.
So for him to come out and throw the ranch under the bus because he doesn't want to catch bad PR is kind of lame of him. So I just finished watching the interview and it was bad. This reporter had one job and, well, she failed. She was supposed to ask Dr. Phil hard-hitting questions about the abuse that Daniel Bergoli claims that she faced at the ranch. But nope, she basically just gassed him up the whole time. She was, in my opinion, mostly biased in favor of Dr. Phil and took his side. And all she tried to do, in my opinion, was try and justify child abuse by saying how bad Daniel Bergoli was when she was 13 and how disrespectful kids are in modern day. As if that is any justification for what Daniel Bergoli claims that she experienced at that ranch. But obviously all of these things are just allegations, meaning that they are accusations without substantial evidence. Obviously if there's substantial evidence, this place would have been shut down a long time ago, because the courts would have a field day with this place. But I guess since this place is private, it's on private land, and I guess they don't have cameras, given the landscape and how big this place is, it's very hard to find evidence to pin the owners of this place with the wrongdoings that Danielle is accusing them of doing. And I can't come out and make any definitive statements saying that they did this stuff when I don't have the evidence to support it. However, I will say that it is looking like Danielle may be telling the truth. Even if it is exaggerated, clearly there is something very wrong with this place given the reviews before Danielle made her video. The accusations, not only from Danielle, but from other people as well. And we saw the comment that I read earlier from a therapist saying that places like this are usually a scam and people usually come back with PTSD, worse than how they were before going to these places. With that being said though, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Whose side are you taking in this situation? Danielle, Dr. Phil, or are you in the kind of in the middle like me? I'm leaning towards Danielle a little bit because Dr. Phil, it seems like he's trying to throw this ranch under the bus, and I didn't like how he was responding in that interview he did with a reporter. But again, don't let my opinions sway how you feel. Let me know how you feel down below in the comment section. Be honest and spark a discussion. But with that being said, you guys already know who it is, and until next time, stay safe out there.